And we are back. Live from the Heartland is a full show today, and we're really happy that you've joined us. I hope you found it interesting so far. Right now we have Julia Hamilton and Maria Sevela Ochoa, curators, right? Is that correct for me to call you curators?
I'd say so.
And I'm sure you do other things in your lives, but somehow you became involved with the exhibit that just finished at DePaul, which my partner calls the Rainbow Coalition exhibit, but I think that's loosely termed. Maybe I should ask you, just tell me what you've been doing, how it wound up in your laps, as it were, and what is happening with this exhibit. I understand it's expanding and in its move to UIC.
Yes. Well, I had the honor with colleagues from DePaul University at the Center for Latino Research to meet Michael James and be introduced to him and learn of his work, because we were interested in showcasing photography at DePaul. We usually host photography at DePaul every year, and we were revisiting that for this academic year, and came across Michael James' overwhelming archives collection of just...
Thank God somebody did. I've been next to his archives for many years now.
And then we learned he just had all this material and had never showcased it, and here was an opportunity to do that. So initially we came to Michael James hoping maybe we can choose just some photography, right? But we said we can't do that. We need to just curate a whole photo exhibit just for him because of the great material he had. Primarily showcasing what the white community in the 1960s were doing, and how similar it was to the causes that the black community and the Latino community here in Chicago were doing, and trying to just really tie in those three communities and saying, look, they were fighting for the same causes, really. Healthcare, after-school programs. And so we did that, and we had his exhibit, which he rightfully called it. He did rightfully call it the Rainbow Coalition of the 1960s.
That's right.
But in his exhibit, I have to point out, he did have that representation of Latinos and the black community working with the white folk at that time.
That's right.
And so we had it at DePaul. We had the honor of having it in the library from September through now. And we came across Julia, who, from California, heard about the exhibit. So word traveled to California and called Michael up and said we'd like to have it at UIC. And so now it's being it was turned over to UIC yesterday, and it's gonna continue.
So tell us, Julia,
I'm from California. I'm not from Chicago. I don't know Chicago that
That's
well.
That's okay. They didn't ask for your passport at the border, right?
But I'm from Oakland, and so I developed a relationship with a lot of the Black Panthers that are still living in Oakland, with Emory Douglas, who is the Minister of Culture for the Black Panther Party. And I was sort of blown away that the Panthers had a Minister of Culture, that they understood the importance of culture to the movement. And so I did an exhibition with Emory of his work in Oakland. That exhibition traveled, and along the way I got to know Kathleen Cleaver, and she told me that she was forming the Rainbow Coalition Council of Elders, and I had never heard of the original Rainbow Coalition, and I was kind of blown away learning more about the movement. So that's kind of how it happened. It's a Chicago-specific history, the history of the coalition between the Young Lords, the Young Patriots, Rising Up Angry, and the Panthers. And so I wanted to do it here. I was really interested in the aesthetics of the movement, the visuals that came out of it, the papers, how very similar they all were, and how it was interesting that similar struggles require a similar kind of rhetoric, a similar way
or
of
result in.
Yeah. So that's kind of the focus, and we were really interested in the idea of this council of elders because it was a way. Mike James is involved as well. It was a way to. I was interested in the way that these people were trying to rethink the basic principles of solidarity, of coalitions, and think about how they could be updated, how they sort of apply today. And so, it was really striking the way the Obama campaign, for me, became a symbol of that solidarity.
Yeah. You're uncovering a really important history by doing this, and I appreciate your work. When can people see, and where do they go to see the show?
The opening is on Wednesday evening from 5 to 8 at Gallery 400, which is 400 South Peoria, and that's on the UIC campus.
Gallery 400 at 400 South Peoria.
Yeah, it opens earlier. It opens on Tuesday, but the reception is on Wednesday. So
yeah, well, definitely you want people at the reception.
Yes.
That whole wine and cheese thing.
Exactly.
Well, this is really wonderful work that you've involved yourselves in, sisters.
Thank you.
And how will you take this forward? I mean, you are of the younger generation, and I assume that this is inspiring maybe some of your own activism down the road. Yes, we have 1 minute, I've been told. So, describe what the future looks like to you in about 30 seconds.
Well, the future for me is just, hey, keep on working with Michael James and encourage him to get his material out there and really let that be in his hands of how much he wants me to be involved, because I'll be out there knocking on doors, getting his stuff out.
All
and I'm
right.
sure Julia will be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important to re-engage with the principles of solidarity and of coalition building around these. It's the way that things got done and can get done, and
definitely tying it into what's going on today.
Bless your hearts. On that note, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you clearly have a future in front of you, and maybe back on this stage. So we would invite you back to Live from the Heartland for more time in the future.
Thank you.
We have thank you, and let's hear it for Julia and Maria. We will be hosting the annual Valentine's Salsa Dance on Valentine's Day. A great event always, and for good cause. So come on by. There's lots happening in the Glenwood Avenue Arts District this spring, mural painting, the French Market developing. So it's all happening here at the zoo. Do the good, power to the people. Next week, Michael is hosting, and we want to thank Evan West, Lisa Smith, Laura Herman, Chris Colgan, and our in-station engineer, Susan, and onward and upward, folks. Live from the Heartland will be here next week, too. Bye-bye.